discussion 2. The topic for this discussion is HSSE, Health, Safety, Security and Environment for Employees and Network, and also CSR, the way forward for India Inc. And to participate in this discussion, please welcome Mr. Yeshwinder Patial, Director, Human Resources, MG Motor India. At MG Motor India, Mr. Patial is responsible for overseeing development and implementation of complete capital strategy since the inception of MG Motor in India, and has proven success in creating cultures of collaboration and implementing change to achieve workforce excellence. With nearly 2 decades of experience in various facets of HR, his earlier leadership stints were with General Motors and Lava Mobiles, where he has handled talent acquisition and talent retention, compensation and benefits, plant HR, L&D, people services, and HR transformation. Please also welcome Mr. Harbhajan Singh, former director, Honda Motorcycle and Scooter India. An industry veteran with more than 45 years, Mr. Singh started his career at the ground level at Tata Steel and served there for 30 years before joining Honda in 2006, where he was a whole-time director. He is Chairman Ease of Doing Business CII Haryana and Chairman CSR and Affirmation Action CII Northern Region, Vice President Tata Workers Union, and associated with International Labour Organization ILO Danida project. Creating peace in a turbulent environment and ensuring industrial harmony is his core competency. Please also welcome Mr. Chandan Sengupta, former CHRO, Sandhar Technologies Limited. Mr. Chandan Sengupta is the Vice Chairman of CII Gurgaon Zone and has more than 34 years of experience in leading organizations like Onida, Jindal, and Sandhar Technologies. An expert in the field of HR transformation, industrial relations, legal and administration, and CSR, he was heading the human resources function for Standard Technologies Limited, having 41 units in India and abroad with over 8,400 employees and a turnover of more than rupees 2,250 crore. He is an MBA from the Faculty of Management Science, Delhi University. Please also welcome Captain Pranav Prasoon, Head of Human Resources, Renault India. An alumnus of IIM Lucknow and a distinguished officer in the Indian Army, he has had commendable experience in managing the entire gamut of leadership, human resources management, training and development, risk and change management, and operations management. His passion to represent the struggles and sacrifices of the armed forces drove him to publish the best-selling book, Those Unknown. Captain Prasoon was honored by the World HRD Congress with the Top HR Minds of India Award. Please also welcome Mr. Gaurav Mann, CEO, K2B Learning. Mr. Mann is an IT graduate and management professional from IIT Mumbai. He started his career with Sun Microsystems Education Wing, which transitioned him from a software engineer to sales and business development. Mr. Mann headed the e-learning division at CII prior to starting his entrepreneurial journey at K2B Learning Private Limited. He is passionate about designing blended learning interventions using technology to create the continuous learning process for Delta change. Please also welcome Ms. Vaishali Mullay, Associate VP Business HR, Tata Capital. A human resources leader with diverse industry experience within the Tata Group, Ms. Mulay joined Tata Motors as a management trainee and went on to work with Tata Services, Tata AIA Life Insurance. Ms. Mulay is known as a people's champion and has been instrumental in building a high-performance work culture at the company level by conceptualizing strategy, talent management initiatives, and creating industry best practices, thereby contributing to the company becoming the Aon Best Employer 2016, the only life insurance company to have won the award. I would like to introduce and welcome once more Mr. M. Dhananjayan, MD Focus India and the Middle East. Mr. Dhananjayan has 17 years of experience working in shipbuilding, construction, hospitality, and automotive retail across South Asia, the Middle East, and Africa. A Six Sigma Masters Black Belt EFQM assessor, Mr. Dhananjayan has trained 20,000 plus people across automobile brands and aims to help transform a million lives. Proficient in six languages, Mr. Dhananjayan owes his love for engineering to the Society of Automotive Engineers and is an active member still. And and of course, Mr. Anuj Guglani, who is going to be CEO World Auto Forum, who is going to be our moderator as well. Uh, for automakers and auto dealers across the world, a passion he still pursues. From 2001 to 2007, he worked with Honda Cars and General Motors across channel sales as well as product and retail sales training. Co-founder and partner of in a green energy consortium called Jan Urja that produces bio-CNG for a cleaner, greener and healthier earth. Anuj is also the head of an NGO called Citizens for Better India that works towards improving lives for women, children and senior citizens. Over to you now, Anuj.
Great. Thanks a ton, Anita ji. And welcome, friends. Welcome, dear speakers, in this post lunch session of the second WAF CHRO roundtable. So, we've had a prolific session in the first half, pre lunch. And actually, we have set, the foundation, the precedence has been set on, how the challenges were overcome of 2020. And yes, we are still in the middle of it. It's still far from over. But yes, a lot of learnings, we have culled out, and they will all go in the CHRO toolkit, which we are preparing at WAF. And we shall also take out a full page ad of the same in the newspaper and disseminate to all our members in our community via email, via social media. And yes, Anita ji, Miss Anita Bahadur, who's a communications expert at World Auto Forum, she shall be collating and preparing the same. So, friends, before we go further, let me just share my screen. Please allow me to do that, and I'll just quickly, show the points which we had discussed a couple of days back as to our discussion points for this discussion. So yes, so it is essentially HSSE, health, safety, security, and environment for the employees, and not just employees, our extended network, so our suppliers, our customers, and also CSR, the way forward for India Inc. So of course, the speakers have already been introduced, so I'll quickly jump to the points which are proposed, and we can always add our own points as well. So HSSE was the highest priority in 2020, how we have gone about it, how we have gone beyond the lip service, friends. How did we actually action the HSSE for our team, suppliers, customers, the extended ecosystem? Layoffs, furloughs, pay cuts became a stark reality. And meanwhile, financial health, mental health, physical health were also top priorities. So how to balance the ambivalence in the system? And how are things now panning out in 2021? What are the caveats, do's, don'ts, precautions, game plan for 2021 as the offices begin to welcome back the employees? And of course, during unlockdown itself, our friends who are CHROs at manufacturing units, the factories opened up. So factory versus office, how do the metrics and levers change? Coming to CSR, India perhaps is one of those rare countries where we have a mandatory CSR requirement by the law. So CSR amidst the pandemic and the cash crunch, how did India Inc. actually embrace it? Then how does CSR work out best? Doing CSR in your local catchment area where you have your factory offices, or probably anywhere now that things are a lot digital. Then of course we've also had the new rules and guidelines of CSR notified last month. So is it better checks and balances or just more compliances and filing, the practical aspects? So these are a few points that let's harp on, let's discuss, let's focus. So I'll just quickly stop sharing my screen, and let's begin the discussion. And let's begin with Mr. Yeshwinder Patial, who is the Director HR at MG Motors India, Morrison Garages. And it's a new company, just came in 2019. They were just getting their self together, enjoying their initial success, and then suddenly they run into COVID. So Mr. Patial, what have been your learnings? What have been the experiences? Some things which you feel you could have done differently? All yours. Please feel free to share.
Thanks, Anuj. Thanks for arranging this session, and good to see everybody online over here. Well, for everybody, in fact, the entire world, the pandemic was situation was something new, and as typically happens, all organizations, in fact, showed utmost maturity in handling that. And I should mention that, especially, it was a big challenge for the HR leaders sitting across throughout the globe. Reason being, anything comes up, one would look towards HR at what has to be done. I mean, even the CEO would look at HR. Okay, this is the situation. What do we do? And that's what exactly happened out. Whether it is MG, whether it is Tata Motors, whether it is Honda, Hyundai, Renault. We talk about an organization, and it was basically the HR leaders who led across the entire process of saying what has to be done next. Of course, uh, the first thing and the foremost thing came up is what do we do with the to overcome the situation, because the lockdown was announced all of a sudden, and with that came up is lockdown 2, lockdown 3, and so on. So when we talk about health, safety, security, everything, CSR also went along with them hand in hand during the lockdown period, because the first thing happens comes up is charity begins at home. And for majority of the organizations, it was first looking at our employees. What do we do? There were salary cuts. In fact, the day lockdown was announced, within a couple of days, organizations started announcing salary cuts. For us at MG, the first thing was that no salary cuts, because we talk about the community, what we do for community, and it was a unanimous take by all the leaders that we are not looking at any salary cuts, however long the lockdown may go on. Uh, Immediately after that was, of course, the well-being of employees, what comes up. So, of course, various channels. Meanwhile, there were various IT companies working on reporting everything. So we had our own in-house reporting mechanism, IT-enabled mechanism on that. Key thing what came out was, again, while we were protecting our employees, the immediate next question, again going step by step, comes out is what about our contract employees? Again, over there, the say was saying that no holding up of any payments where it is pertaining to the wages, so that nobody who is directly or indirectly associated with the organization, uh, their salaries get impacted. And then as we moved ahead towards the larger community, it came up on the CSR activities. What do we do on the CSR activities? Because uh, it was somewhere around 15 days down. The talks were that would the lockdown end or get extended, and the moment it got extended, we had the migrant laborers moving out. They started walking home, and that was when we pitched up across that let's do something for the migrant labor, collaborate with the local administration. A lot of activities done, whether it was in Gurgaon, whether it was at the plant at Halur, in collaboration with the local administration, supporting the migrant laborers with food packet, with water, with whatever essentials were required. Besides this, there were daily wage earners, so supporting them on all these activities. So these all, in fact, went on. But during this entire phase, as the lockdown went on, one big factor was when we started what you mentioned rightly as one of the key points, that how do we embrace this new situation. And being a young organization, of course, one key thing what we have in our core values is being flexible and keeping to learn new things. And that's what happened across, I would say, we everybody across in the country quickly learned on wearing mask. The
Wow,
first thing, when
fantastic.
I think everybody, all of us would agree, the moment we would wear those masks on, dam ghut raha hai. That was the reaction. Now today you see you can sit the entire day with the mask on. So that's a new learning. Quickly everybody learned on it, because it's not about your health alone. It's
Yes.
about the health of your family, about your colleagues, about their families. In fact, the entire society. So if somebody is not putting up those precautions, so that learning was very quick in everybody.
तो ज्यादा दम घुटता है, किसी ने मास्क अभी ना पहना तो ज्यादा दम घुटता है उसको.
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल.
Well, actually, Yeshwinder, we have a question, which we have received from people all over the world. And that question is specifically for you. and they wanted
Okay.
to ask you via me. I'm just the medium. That 33% of the workforce at MG Motor India comprises women, and you have a target to reach 50%. So having such a strong good majority of women, it's unheard of. You forget automotive, you take any corporate world, you take any government department, you take any setup, having one third women, we've been trying to have in the parliament, we've been trying to have in the Supreme Court, it's not happened. So what is the secret sauce, how you reached this 33%, one third, how you plan to reach 50, and what was the difference possibly in empathy or sensitivity while fighting COVID?
A good question. In fact, I would say, Anuj, that this is something which has been bothering, because when we entered India, there was this one question which our MD Rajiv, he put across to me, that can we reach 50%? That was the first question what he asked me. I said we can try, and his response immediately was, everybody can say that we can try. I want an answer, yes or no. And I said, yes, we will reach. And his immediate response to my answer of yes was, I'm not giving you a timeline, but I want you to reach. And the moment you said, yes, we can reach, so I'm leaving the timeline to you. A lot of efforts done, in fact, out for getting women on board, right from day one, because out where we have our plant, working of women in industries, especially manufacturing industries, was unheard for. And the one advantage what we had was, we had a time frame of roughly 1 year before actually I would say 1.25 years kind of period, where the non-sellable vehicles and the builds started, because majority of the leaders from the auto industry will start the start of builds. So before that was all program management. So that was the time frame when the HR team, in fact, went across to all villages, meeting the sarpanch, the local tehsildars, the other gram panchayats, other opinion leaders, convincing them, organizing plant visit for them. And this is where, during the initial phase, we were able to build some confidence. When the first 3 or 4 batches of women joined in, and this I'm talking about women on the shop floor, we had an extensive training for them, because at that point of time, we were not having any experienced people on the floor to train them. So there were extensive 3-4 months of training for them, because we had time in our hand. And on the date of their joining, we had their parents join them. Their parents joined them, took a tour of the plant, had the food in the canteen. So they were much more convinced that, okay, and looked at the security features, how the security is taken care of, this all went. And of course, during the pandemic situation, again, this was a challenge, because women working in, when they come in, if we look at it, we've got women who are married, have kids. Kids generally would get attached more to their mothers. They'll be closer. So that was one of the concern what was coming up by the female employees, the women employees, asking that, can we come late? And we were flexible on it. The most important thing today, if we look at what you rightly mentioned, the word empathy, is when a male employee comes and asks for a leave, there are generally no questions asked. But when a female employee comes and asks for a leave, questions may be asked. I'm not saying questions are asked, questions may be asked. Itni chutti kyun chahiye? Why do you need so many number of days of leave? Okay, going by the same example, kids are more attached to the mother.
Absolutely.
Aren't the kids attached to the fathers? They are, but then when it comes in general, we know that end of the day, truth is that kids are more attached with the mothers. So having that empathy, making sure that we educate them, we train them out for the right needs of the organization, and of course, right needs of the society as well. Because when these women, when they entered for the first time in the industry, they were never trained, in fact, for the industrial discipline.
True.
In typically in the manufacturing industry, a discipline would come at, if the shift starts at X time, it is X time. If you're late by a minute, in fact, the entire line would get delayed by a minute. So getting that thing, and the results are, I would say, overwhelming, which further encouraged the previous generation leaders that, yes, this is yielding results. whether it is on the quality of the product, whether it is on the discipline on the floor, whether it is taking up new initiatives, everything yielded those results. And that's what helped us across to reach it.
It's truly beautiful, Yeshwinder. It's very heartening to listen to these beautiful words. Adding flexibility and empathy on an assembly line where every second counts. It's truly beautiful, and I'm sure a case study. So, switching gears, and so these are kind of opening remarks. So we will again come back, to you, Yeshwinder. So coming to Captain Pranav, the CHRO at Renault. So, Captain Pranav, what has been your experience and of your teams, handling, managing, embracing, fighting? You are from the Indian Army. So, what were the tenets of the Army that came to your help and rescue fighting the COVID time?
Thank you, Anuj. First, I should thank you and for sure, Yeshwinder. Thank you for the starting notes. And I must tell thank you for Harbhajan, sir. I heard you in Chennai once upon a time. I was in the audience and maybe I was the guy clapping maximum for you because very simply explained to those terms. And it is quite an inspiration, of course. As you asked my experience, if you say it is, this entire situation is not very different from what we experience in Army, but we have special training for that. So whenever we are posted in the valley and when we come back, it says that the soldier leaves the valley, but the valley doesn't leave the soldier. And if the current situation which we are in, even the lockdown started, and currently we are out, coming out of it, and still the things are a bit dicey. You never know what the governments can plan next because things are still not very certain. We are improving, but not there at least. Coming out, there is something called post-traumatic stress disorder. PTSD, which we call it. And if you say psychologically or clinically, there is a word called critical incident stress debriefing, which is very much required. Now, you know what, when it started, we all were, and nothing was, Yeshwinder was mentioning so many things, and I keep on discussing within the team because we both are in Gurgaon, that what next and all. So one is closing down, and we all were prepared. Few people started early, few people started late. And then we were all based on the government policies and whatever the government orders used to tell us, right? And slowly, gradually, when the opening starts, one thing which I must tell here in this forum is all those plastic tactics of HR or strategies which used to be there, the employee engagement. It was not there. Here, what we found out, a raw leadership. And where the veterans we are here today, we all feel that HR became the center of attraction. Now we were the people who were moving around the government offices, to open the office and with what strength and at what level, right? And making the things quite conducive. That employees should have that confidence to come back. And it is not. We are also employees, and we all know that it is you have a family to answer, right? And think if anything goes out and what a disease you have, you touch and you have the disease, right? So those things are there. But yes, coming from Army, if you say leading from the front is something which we are taught. And the first thing which we had as a management committee meeting, we told that I told to all the leaders that employees might refrain because of the obvious reasons, but we have to come to the office because we have to create example. And I must tell you, everyone, all the HOD started coming to office. MD used to come every day to the office, and me, myself. So that's how the thing started. So one was opening up, and slowly, employees and all of them were at different locations. The plant started opening and the dealership started opening. So you have to create examples, right? First you open, and then it goes the word of mouth, and the dealership carries on, and that's how it is, right? So one is making the ecosystem. It's not that, and because the focus was CSR. In Army, we say that, to make a great change, if you say, which Harbhajan, I would be loving to hear to his remarks. It is a simple phenomenon. Just take care of the people to the left of you and the person to the right of you. If you have done it, all of us are doing it, I think we are there. There is no jingoism which is involved. Just take care of the person who is left to you and the right to you, and things will follow, right? So from there, small mechanisms started, that how employees will come, how their families should face, and we all used to come to the office and go back home, and we used to take, bath in hot water and all those things. Our baptism used to happen. So it is not that easy, yes. And then you have the office being opened, and then you have COVID cases. And then how will you, we all were learning together, right? Yeshwinder office was learning with me, and I was learning with Yeshwinder's office, and how to take it further from there. And then what? It affects the to the morale and motivation of the people. But the disease is like that, right? And after some time, the beauty of human, animal is we know how to capitalize. We know how to get over it. And this is what you see. And one thing we all must know, that if we don't work, we cannot make the economy. And today, if you say a long time back, if you go in April, when the industrial volume goes to zero, and today when the industrial volume is recuperating, it is all the efforts of everyone who's sitting here, right? And with these small factors, I'm telling you, we are making a generation of resilience, and we are making a generation which will remember this with a smile and of course take it further. So to start with, I'll pause here, and maybe once given a chance, I'll talk more. But it would be a treat to listen to all of you. Thank you.
Great. That's fantastic, Captain Pranav, and really like your respect for time for the other speakers too. And it's really nice to know how well you have drawn the parallels with the Indian Army, and whatever you've learned, you applied in the corporate world. And also nice to know about those plastic tactics and jingoisms going away through the window, and the raw leadership coming in. But what really touches my heart the most is that the way you were so effortlessly and seamlessly saying that you were sharing your learnings, how to fight COVID and how to be there with your teams with Yeshwinder. And technically, if one might see, both of you are arch rivals in the industry as far as the companies and products are concerned. But when it came to fighting a common enemy as big, serious, and important as COVID, you were together. That shows the beauty of the industry coming together in the need, in the hour of the need, and being there for each other. I think that's really very special, and that would surely go a long way. So switching gears, and Captain Pranav, you've taken name of Singh Saab twice, so I think it will be raw injustice if we don't get him next. So Singh Saab, please, sir, we welcome you to please share your thoughts.
Thank you, Anuj. Thank you, Pranav. Welcome to all of you friends over here. I think, Anuj, on a lighter note, the one very visible thing which happened during COVID was that people started bathing very regularly here. Those guys, like in hospitality industry, was insisting, and we had these boys or housekeeping and all, and even canteen staff and horticulture people, we used to tell them, yaar saaf suthra hi rakho. Then it was no more required. You will find those guys every time coming, saab hum thoda na naha ke aa rahe hain. Very good, here something good has happened. So I would say that means हम तो जिंदगी भर सुनते रहे ना कि आवश्यकता आविष्कार की जननी है. Necessity is the mother of invention. So COVID has taught us many things, and we being human beings, we get shaped into the context very soon. Whatever be the context, humans have that beauty that they get shaped into it, they get used to it, and we change our habits very fast when there is no option left but to change. So COVID was one situation where there was no option left. So you didn't have the choices whether to change or not. So everybody changed. I had been insisting from a long time that let us have work from home for the guys in manufacturing also. Let us give them 1 or 2 days in a week so that they can operate from home. And everybody used to say, nahi, manufacturing mein aise hota hai kya, Singh sir? And then we found that everybody was saying, don't come to the office, please operate from home. So, when we were young, and I remember my school days, there used to be a Malthus theory of population, which used to say that when preventive checks fail, then natural checks will take place. So this has been a sort of natural check on humanity to reverse back the blind speed with which we were progressing. We had basically, if you would see, there has been a tremendous shift in everything, even in lifestyle. The cost of actual living or the necessities had become a very lesser percentage than the cost of luxuries and comforts and all. At least that got reversed immediately. People started spending more time with families. Organizations became more concerned and focused on their employees. Their health came to the forefront. And at the same time, it so happened that people started realizing that there is a lot of fat in the organization. And with the COVID creeping in and working with the lesser number, there was a realization that there was a lot of fat which needs to be taken care of, and the several structures need to be realigned. The focus of health professionals was there. Maybe the medical rooms and doctors' room were at the backstage. Nobody bothered about the doctor in the company here.
True, true.
The COVID stepped in, everybody was revolving around the doctors and the organizations which used to say, let us outsource this activity, not required at all. They realized the worth of the people who were actually associated with the organizations, and they were more, in the forefront and risk their selves to expose to the pandemic and come forward to protect the organization. So I will say that I keep on hearing so much about agility, resilience. These are inbuilt things in human beings. Once you put them in a situation when they don't have a way out, within minutes they become resilient also, adaptable also, and agile also. As long as you keep on giving them options, you may or you may not, they never come out of their comfort zones. So I think that there has been a learning for all of us. All the organizations have seen that what was there that they could change. And many organizations I find who were hesitant to go ahead with any changes, they realized that if they don't change now, they are finished. For survival's sake, many of them have changed. And as you guys were talking, like in the previous sessions also, once it opened up, the pent-up demand has come up. Now there has been a fight for survival of life and livelihood. So the political system had its own constraints, first to balance it out to immediate lockdown and then gradual reopening. Of course, economy has sustained a big loss, but I am very hopeful and confident that the way the things are looking up, it is only a matter of time, and we will be again doing as well, rather better than what we were doing before, with the new opportunities that we are creeping.
Great, that's fantastic.
I think that I will put a stop over here, and the HR fundas are HR fundas we but I want to just tell you, Yeshwinder, there is an organization in Bawal called CAIN, and they have a women workforce of around 165 people, and all of them are sitting on strike for last 7 days and creating lot of trouble, putting such allegations which are unheard of. So everything which is a solution today, anything which is solution today, means I very fondly keep on saying that today's solutions are tomorrow's problems.
Very true, Mr. Singh.
Whatever we are creating as solutions today tomorrow will be a problem, and we should not hesitate from experimenting ourselves, because this is a way of life. Whatever is relevant today, whatever is right for the context today may not be right for the context which may be there in the future. So I think that is HR's job. Means whenever there is a trouble, it is HR which is remembered. And whenever the things become smooth, HR is the one which is being looked upon as a burden. But organizations know that a good HR organization within an organization is a boon. And it enables all other stakeholders in the organization to learn the HR and treat human resources as human beings and not as a resources only.
Well said.
I will put a stop here.
Well said, Singh Saab. I think these are really golden sutras. And of course, we still remember your great words from the last year's CHRO Roundtable as well. In fact, many times, a lot of those things that you said in the humorous way, we suddenly get reminded, and, we just start off with a laughter. It's fantastic. So that's great. So now let's switch gears and come to, very different kind of a speaker. So she has worked with she's worked with Tata Motors, but now she's working in the non-automotive sector. She's of course in the Tata with the House of Tata. She's with Tata Capital. So we'd like to welcome now Miss Vishali Mullay to share her experiences. Manufacturing facility vis-a-vis office, production vis-a-vis services. How do they pan out? What are the differences and the commonalities? And also something on, as Singh Saab mentioned, that when things are hunky-dory, HR is taken as a liability, but this was the opportunity for the HR to really, rise to the occasion. So all yours, Ms. Mulay.
So thanks, Anuj, for the opportunity, and thank you, fellow co-panelists. Very interesting views and very interesting perspectives of initiatives. I think it was a test of time for us as HR professionals. It was our test, and suddenly HR became not a business partner, but HR became the business. So all of us looked at us, and there was a lot of limelight around in terms of decisions that all of us kind of took, because each and every decision that we took, it impacted the employee and his or her value system. So whether it was family, whether it was financial dependency, all of it, and it took quite a toll on employee. Each employee would, or address this perspective in a different way, but as an organization and coming from the Tata group, CSR is the nucleus for us in terms of our social responsibility towards society. So it was BAU for us because we keep doing it every day, and we stepped up as all of us were sharing. We reached out not only to the employees' physical, well-being, but also looked at the emotional and psychological perspective in terms of the young employees who are with us, who are living on PG accommodations. We reached out to them specifically in terms of how are they managing, right from their meals to ensuring that they go back to their hometowns. We kind of partnered with organizations for ambulance services, counseling centers, and tried to kind of create that soft cushion which was kind of made available to employees as much as possible. So in nutshell, if I have to summarize, it was a value chain in terms of psychological, emotional, physiological well-being, wherein not only are the employees, but also our feet on street, because we are in the financial services, and financial services people are core. You don't really have a product, you have a person who is your product, and that person ensures that it reaches the consumers and kind of makes that difference. So we did venture into insurance, mediclaim for our feet on street as well, to maximum possible that we could leverage with our fellow organizations and partners. So I think it was a very difficult journey for all of us. We all learned each and every day. We had never imagined, and we are still in that situation where it's each day is going to be a new day for all of us. And suddenly, as Yeshwinder and Pranav were saying, industry competition was no more seen. Everyone was like in touch with each other, collaborating wherever possible. Synergies were kind of seen, and it became suddenly one team who has to you look at the situation and kind of address that situation. So a lot of learnings on the way as an HR professional also, and also in terms of how do you manage adversity according to me. So it's a cultural change for me, I would say. That would be my opening remarks.
That's fantastic, Ms. Mulay. Ms. Mulay, really heartening to listen to that. So coming to Mr. Chandan Sengupta. So, sir, you have been at the thick of things. You have led HR. At an organization which is cross-cultural. You've had manufacturing plants across the world. And I remember in one of our sessions last year in VAF Guru's Live, you had shared how it had got really challenging. A couple of plants, people were infected, and how you swung into the action mode and to the rescue. Like a true hero. So learnings from last year, sir, and outlook for 2021 and beyond. All yours.
We had a session last year also. And as I said, we were prepared as an organization because we had plants in Mexico and Spain, which were heavily affected. In Spain, the percentage of people who were down with COVID was more than 50%. And as I told that time also, I'm saying this time also, we in India are more resilient than the people in either USA or Europe. We had to be in constant touch with all these people, their family members, speaking to the wives, the daughters, who were much more psychologically affected than the actual virus itself. Telling them how to prepare kada and what should be the intake of food. It should be high protein based. How to do it, what to eat, what not to eat was something that we were constantly in touch with. Once they found that you had a team which was talking to them on a daily basis, the fear level went down. And when you had the first case which came through, you had a different perspective altogether. People were not that afraid anymore. 23rd was the lockdown. I was ordered by the board to make the payment of salaries 100% to all employees, 8,800 on the next day itself. We were digital, we were on cloud, and it was possible. We disbursed the salaries on 24th to all. However, going forward, when we came to know that this lockdown will not end by the 15th of April and would continue further, we took a call and we had a meeting with all the staff members. And we said we will not like any associate to lose their jobs. We need to support them. We voluntarily went in for a 50% wage salary cut, and we saw to it not a single person associate was removed or they had a salary this thing. Now, when the associates came to know about this, they reciprocated back by going in for a 5% wage cut and not taking the benefits of the 4-term long-term settlement. They said, we'll defer it, don't worry. We will take it when the time is right. So the bonding between the associates and staff increased. We were having meetings practically every day with all the 8,000 people, plus the family members, which created a team family bonding, and this helped. So these are the things that we did. As far as CSR is concerned, we have started our Sandhar Foundation way back in 2010, much before it was augmented by the government. And during the lockdown, what we did, we kept our canteens open in all the 41 units in India, and we were supplying food to the migrant workers and people who were stuck there. Secondly, we had a plant in Manesar, which is into helmets. We started producing face shields from there and started distributing it to all the people, the police, the administrative people, and all. Also, what we did, we encouraged all the associates and the staff and the family members. We taught them how to stitch a mask. And we were buying this mask from these people at 20 rupees and supplying it free to all the people across. We had made the Sandhar SOP on the 4th of April as to what needs to be done when we reopen our offices. And also what we did was all the employees who were stranded, and we loaned them to the essential services. In Pune, in Jaipur, we had plants where they were food industry, and they worked there free of cost. That became a norm. Again, when we reopened first, and companies like Mahindra, they had not opened and they had their people sitting idle, the welders and all, they were provided to us free of cost. So this is something which was unheard of earlier and which became, a hand in glove kind of a thing for the industries to cooperate and go forward. Not only sharing of information, which was being done already, but sharing of associates for doing production was something which was a new norm, which came up. So, as I said, we had a help desk which was in place, being in touch with all 8,800 people. The lockdown saw us working from home. And as Harbhajan said that, we wanted the manufacturing to have work from home. But Harbhajan work from home is more of a problem than working from office. Work from home meant that you're working for 20, 22 hours, right from 5 o'clock in the morning, because you have different time zones, speaking to other people till maybe 2 o'clock at night. Totally. Not only the employees, but also through the CI and ACMA, through the government officials, the central, the state government. And, first case which happened in Sandhar, when we spoke to the Haryana government, they did not have a SOP on how to report.
Oh my God.
And we were the first who told them this should be the procedure for reporting a COVID case. And then it was implemented maybe on 18th of May by the Haryana government. So yes, a lot of learning, a lot of CFT teams being created, HR team coming together, bonding happening. It was a difficult year. definitely. But I think we came out of it much more stronger as an organization, as a family, and the bonding increased, which is something that one should take forward. Secondly, my learning directly would be from a CHRO to a CEO, because I was leading the teams directly. You know, be it, and I was the only person in the office from 15th of April.
Wow.
To be there every day.
Every day, every single day.
You had to show that leadership to all the people. Getting back people who had gone back to their natives was again a problem. Not only arranging tickets for them, arranging buses, taxis, so that they could come back, speaking to the family, their fathers, mothers, wives, that they are much safer with us. We'll take care of them. Don't worry. They are our first priority. So the change and seeing that nothing happens. When you tell them, it is very easy. But then, you know, you are always at the edge of a hook. God forbid something wrong goes. We had something about 80 odd cases which happened across India. The abroad was different, and we had one mortality. But that was because this person did not report in about his condition at all. He just disappeared. Another case was the directors, one of the directors, they got COVID, the whole family, and they were not recovering. So what we found out was that they were eating, living, sleeping together. They were not self-quarantining themselves inside the house. They thought everyone has COVID, so it is not a problem. Right. So convincing the director that please distance yourself, maintain it in your house also was something that was a task. But after they did it, they recovered, and the whole family is thankful for it. So these are things that are not there in the COVID manual.
So convincing the director would have been the toughest, I'm sure.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And
it was very difficult.
Great. I think that's a fantastic journey, I would say, Chandan sir, and the way you've been there for your teams and the way you have really, walked the talk by being there in the office yourself, 15th April onwards, to get that confidence to your teams for them to come back and, resume work. Great. That's fantastic, Chandan sir. Really kudos and hats off to you. So switching gears. Calling Mr. Gaurav Mann from K2B Learning. Gaurav, we've shared our learnings in the first discussion, and here about something in HSSE. Gaurav, something if you might have done or planned, for HSSE via digital, if you can share, or if you have plans.
Yeah, definitely, I'll be happy to. Because while this COVID happened, our team, although we are a very small team of 18, 20 people, but it was difficult times for us to ensure that the health and safety for everyone. In fact, some of the people who were staying in Delhi NCR were staying alone, and the food used to come from outside. They never used to cook and all that. So we had to ensure that the food is reaching to them. In fact, I was doing more of an HR function, more as a BD kind of a word, as a promoter of the company, ensuring that asking everyone how they are coping up. Because at some point of time, while, it was like, you are jailed in your home. So, and when you are bound to not to go out, you have more of compulsion of going out. So, I was doing a lot of work onto that. In fact, we were doing a lot of sessions with a lot of our clients, on health, in terms of stress management, on various issues. In fact, we coached about 500 hours of coaching that we did in initial few months. We asked a lot of our friends to come on board and to help people. And that too, in fact, we did not put much of a cost onto it. It was a lot of, we did a free coaching to the people in terms of their mental health. It was a very, very difficult time. And, as Captain Pranav has said that, take care of your left and right. That's exactly that we were doing with our team. In fact, we were doing with our clients also, initial couple of months, we called them and said, any kind of support that you need to engage your employees, just feel free to call me at any given point of time, whether we have to give them our existing e-learning modules, which we had kept as an off the shelf. I said, I will give free of cost, but the learning must keep on going, So if you want me to do the sessions, we did numerous sessions, which was on resilience, right? To ensuring that, people keep on getting motivated onto it. Recently, in fact, we are now developing, a lot of our clients are now coming to us saying that, help us developing a lot of e-modules on the health and safety. Right? I am just developing almost 10 to 12 all modules on road safety, on aggressive driving, on road rage, on helmet safety, on drunken driving. We are just doing a lot of work in terms of educating people, 15 minutes kind of a modules, ensuring that people must know about it. Because it's like, you've been put into a cage for a longer time, and then when you go out, you wanted to celebrate a lot. They said, control yourself. And, on those lines, definitely we are working on. In terms of CSR, this year, in fact, in 2021, I think we were planning a lot. For the first time that we picked 5, students, and we are just helping them in their education. So we said we are looking at to increase it every year, maybe 1 or 2 people. That's what we are doing in the CSR. But definitely, this has been a tremendous year of learning. That's what we have done. So that's from my side.
That's fantastic, Gaurav. Really heartening to know that during the time of when the pandemic broke out, you were offering not just e-learning but free courses also to a lot of corporates, because at that time they were just beginning to embrace digital, and to expedite the same, you were offering free courses. So I think that's really very special, Gaurav. Really very special. Really kudos to you. So coming to our next speaker, that's Mr. Dhananjayan M, whom we very fondly call as DJ, as he's fondly called by his friends, family, teams, associates. So DJ, you are the specialist, if I might say, on SOP, after sales training. So I'm sure HSSE would have, of course, taken the center stage, So stuff that you did around HSSE and CSR last 1 year, please feel free to share.
Yeah, thank you, Anuj, and I really like Harbhajan Singh's comments, especially I lost words actually, but I would like to bring 2 scenarios of what we really did from a professional engagement with the clients. Was the dialogue of talking to each of these people, Zoom calls, connecting all the peoples and having fun, asking them a lot of questions. More than asking them about work, it was like more of eliminating the stress factor, because in the whole COVID situation for all of us, including our own families, the fear was the major factor, because COVID did not kill many people. Only the fear killed many people, because people really died because of fear, because they don't know anything. There was no COVID expert or no one know what is the symptoms. Until date, I really don't know what happens if COVID comes. So it is all sometimes a kind of a myth, a lot of things happening, but fundamental basic hygiene things is where we went and educated more than 120 dealers of our clients. And also during this time, we were asked also to prepare a lot of quiz so that they are processed, they're able to refresh it, do some, kind of a Google Forms, which we used it. So this is one part from a professional engagement. As Focus, we have been involved in transforming a tribal school in Elagiri for the last 5 years, and we have been very successful in transforming the complete school the way it used to look like. And today, the school, which was not even competing for a district level sports competition, have produced in 2019 around 70 students. And also, this helped us to educate them on digital literacy and use a lot of latest technologies to learn and then keep them connected over phone. And the biggest thing is these people don't even have access to phone. So we used volunteers to reach out to them and see that all the local connections were utilized. This is one as part of Focus we were doing. And there are 2 more things I want to bring to the forum. CSR is not corporate social responsibility, according to me. It is the C is the connecting. It connects all the minds and hearts of many people for a common purpose. The synergy is built, and R is racing to the need. So I'm part of a forum called ALEAG, a literacy initiative group. This has been started by a group of friends 12 years back, and I was introduced by McLean. And during this COVID times, we were able to feed 1 million people. So it is a huge, around 65 people of ALEAG's team were able to create a big network. And cooking food and serving is not important. It is a new initiative which we brought is like a ration kit that we generated, where the families are able to feed themselves, cook themselves, and do it. Because if you cook from a place and then give, there is a lot of local restrictions and other stuff. So we were able to establish this, one model called the kit distribution. I would, welcome other people to join in case if they would like to join on Ali's efforts. And one more initiative during this COVID is you might also know about Agastya Foundation. So Agastya Foundation is almost 20 years old. So they are primarily more doing the work in down south of India, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, and few states of north. So what we have done during this COVID time is we have collaborated and synergized Ali and Agastya. So what is happening is the learnings of Ali is being benchmarked by Agastya, and the learnings of Agastya have been benchmarked with Ali. So this is creating a kind of one India, one focus, and the complete India integration is happening from a CSR perspective. So I see apart from our own employees or a client, there is a further more need of people in terms of health, in terms of education, and in terms of, again, I go back to the technology. Today, with technology, we can really do wonders. So Ali has already, raised a sponsor and then made almost 120 kids to learn programming during this COVID times. And more than 1,500 tablets we were able to manage used ones and some contributions and given in the upcountry of UP, Bihar and things. So I believe strongly that CSR would connect all of us for a single common purpose, and more than HSSE, I believe and look in the future. The biggest challenge for all of us would be थोड़ा दिमाग खराब होगा because virtual में सारी वो चल रहा है. There's no physical interaction, so people's stability of mind is a challenge. Believe me. Their patience levels would have come very, very low because they're attending more of virtual meetings. So physical and virtual should be combined. So ENT doctor के लिए बहुत काम आएगा because your ears will obviously the putting up earphones and things can't. So ear doctors will get a lot of things, and eyesight also is because you're spending. We say virtual is more productive. To me, honestly, it is also impacting the health because people are using their own personal space for work. So I think Google or some few more companies which took efforts on creating a home office and giving the essential kits was one of the best initiatives. So to me, moving forward, I mean, whatever we have done and come and raise to the situation is wonderful. Fantastic job done by a lot of HR people and the leaders here on the forum as well. I think they have really managed to use the minimum resources and maximize effort. So if you want to take a call for action is to, again, as I said in the morning, the mind body transformation should be part of their wellness program as part of the future people policy. That would really make an impact. Over to you, Anuj.
That's fantastic, DJ, and I really appreciate your work with your two not-for-profit foundation that you're associated to. So I'm sure
it's 3:00.
More than 1 million people are blessing you right now because you have been there for them. So that's millions of blessings, if I can say that. That's fantastic. That's really purposeful.
Honestly, we are not helping them. They are helping us to be staying positive and motivated. I think CSR is all about giving you back the energy to go forward in a more positive direction. I think that's the way I look at it. Even with the school that we did, the kids, the guy is able to do more, which no one was not able to bring the talent from within. So we have to, create the platform and the opportunities. So I strongly believe, in my college days and school days, my teachers gave me the platform. I think the industry also should create a platform which could make a big difference.
That's beautiful. That's fantastic, DJ. Even more kudos to you. So now what we will do, we're almost out of time. So we will just say we have taken our time to speak our heart out, which is the reason why we were here. So now let's give our closing remarks one by one in the same order. And you can also, of course, focus on the possible points that you would like to put in the CHRO toolkit that we are preparing at VAF. So 60 seconds, 1 minute of closing remarks. So we can start again with Yeshwinder. Mr. Patial, all yours.
Thanks, Anuj. I think everybody has said good points. Within the 60 seconds, one thing which comes out is All organizations have done an excellent job in 2020 in CSR. The key for 2021 would be taking it to the next step. We should not end up by saying that it was kind of flavor of the year and that flavor was COVID. So we did all these CSR activities, but taking it forward and making it a regular activity of doing what we have to do for our society.
Right, Yeshwinder. Fantastic. All right. So, Captain Pranav.
So quickly, most of the points are covered. Rather, my thing will be we have to be connected. That is the need of the hour. When you when you work for one company, or it is, we can be specific to ourselves, but we work for the humanity. Then we all have to be together. So where all the CHROs, all the head HRs have to be together, because together we make the mankind start again, right? And it is not only today that the business is stabilizing. Also, we have to understand that there is a big workforce which is like coming out from the colleges currently, and who are very in the state of panic and anxiety, and we have to take care of them with the existing workforce for sure. Cash protection will be a thing. Market will react in the way it has to be. But as I mentioned in my first session also, when I was talking, that human ethos and values have to be protected, and we have to be protecting people to the left of us and right of us to make the world the way it should be. I think that's all.
Great. So to the left and to the right, and together everybody achieves more. Well said, Captain Pranav. Singh Saab, all yours, sir.
Anuj, I think that the hiring should be for the heart, not only for hands. We have to hire people and win their hearts. We should not just focus on using them as a resources. And we have seen the impact of migrant labor. Means it came to the fore that how they were being treated. So means we should be more sensitive to the people as human beings and not be concerned that how much we can make use of them. Second thing which I want to say is that they keep on saying that everything is fair in love and war. And HR has to perform both the roles. When we are in the mode of love, we do a lot of engagement activities, and many times we go overboard also. And when we are at war, we have to manpower reduce karna hai, we have to do inquiries, then also many times we go overboard. My only request is that be balanced, don't go to the extremes, and manage the things from the perspective of context. Don't visualize and don't behave out of context, because for every organization there is a different context, and the HR of that organization has to see that what is the context and deliver as per the requirements of the context. And as Pranav was saying, I would also say be together and work together. So that is something that which can, as Ms. Mulay was saying, that HR has graduated from business partner to business. But in order to remain business in the future, it has to behave as a business. It will have to keep an eye on bottom line also, and help the organizations to earn sufficient profits so that every stakeholder can have a good pie out of it. Thank you.
Absolutely. So it's very important, Singh Saab, to remain in context and not to explode the wrong hill. Well, I've taken just to give a context. This is from Singh Saab's, speech last year at the first CHRO Roundtable. They were sharing some very interesting anecdotes on exploding hills, while taking the land for the plant and near Bangalore. Very interesting incident. In fact, you can find more of them at WAF TV. You just go to WAF TV on our website and search for the CHRO Roundtable. You'll find several interesting videos, including that of Singh Saab. Okay, so yes, sir. So coming to
Anuj, I also said that we are good at breaking rules. Lakshman Rekha par kar di thi.
Absolutely. That's what led to all the mess. All right. So coming to Ms. Mulay. Ms. Mulay, your closing remarks?
I think now that we have embraced the new normal, and it's actually become normal for us, so it does apply for CSR as well. We should continue CSR in true spirit, and kind of take it forward. Doesn't matter whether COVID is there, is not there. CSR is always going to be there because it's our responsibility to the society. The other part of the whole process is going to be the performance management process, which is again a hard reality in COVID times also. So while all of us will still go ahead and do it, and it's the appraisal season upcoming, those who follow the financial year, of course, I think the way we do it is going to be very important this time. As Singh Saab was saying, the humility, the sensitivity towards employee is going to be the key ingredient of a successful performance management system this time. So in toto, I think HR has to now play the HR hat and and kind of take it forward by heart, then only pure mind, I would say. So that's all from me.
So, Miss Mulay, talking about CSR projects and selecting the right ones is in line with your company's core practices and ethos. What would be the top three, four guiding points while selecting, evaluating a CSR proposal?
So for us, in the COVID times also, we continued and sustained our CSR initiatives. Financial literacy is one of our key, focus areas, being in the financial services, and we continue to invest. We have transitioned from, obviously the physical projects still remain, but we have managed to transition to virtual medium also wherever possible. So, for example, there is a project that we are pursuing right now, which is the Gyan Dhan project, which talks about financial literacy for colleges and schools in the right kind of beneficiary setup. So that is a project which talks about enabling financial literacy with specific modules and education to the set of students that we kind of take care and sponsor, and we continue to show our commitment towards that. So if this is just as an illustration that I shared, but wherever we have invested in terms of health, in terms of infrastructure in some projects, we continue to kind of support that kind of an endeavor.
Right. Fair enough, Ms. Mulay. That's fantastic. All right. So coming to Chandan sir. Chandan sir, what closing remarks?
Keeping my fingers crossed because the second wave of COVID, which is coming, you have seen what has happened in Maharashtra. Today in the newspaper, there was a column wherein Sector 67 in Gurgaon has been put under total this thing because of a number of cases coming in. We are letting our guards down, unfortunately. I was gone to a company yesterday for a training, and there was no norms. There was no sanitizing of hands. There was no temperature checking, nothing. If we do not take precautions, we will be in a bigger problem because this variant which is there is much more harmful than the earlier one. And just concluding, morning we had a lot of this thing, learn, visualize, create. I would add unlearn, relearn and recreate also for the coming year.
Right, sir. So, Chandan sir, your views on CSR as a broad topic, like even the rules which have been notified last month for CSR, the new guidelines, it very clearly mentions that CSR, so like marketing activities should not be done under the garb of CSR. So something on that which you feel is right or not right?
See, as I said, we had started our Sandhar Foundation way back in 2010, much before it was mandated by the government. And we have been focusing more on the girl child, the grannies, and taking care of girls' schools, etc. Promoting the girl athletes. That is what we have been doing. And also providing water, potable water to all the villages, etc. This has been an ongoing thing. And, if you actually want to do corporate social responsibility, do it from your heart, not from the point of view of what the government legislates.
Beautiful. That's really well said. In fact, I have a very simple, personally speaking, of course, I'm not talking about CSR on a grand level as most of you big time CHROs do, at such high positions and big organizations. My simple sutra of philanthropy is left hand should not get to know what right hand is doing. So
absolutely.
Our NGO also, where we do some work, we have, at least I have stopped promoting it at what we are doing. So and because it's been 10 years, people know what we are doing. If they want to give any donation funding, all that is a separate channel. But I don't promote at all, so it should not be for World Auto Forum or for Motor Uncle or for any of my other venture. Nobody should get to know. In fact, many times I don't even tell my family about it.
You will find a lot of people posting videos, posting movies about them doing. Is that CSR? Or are they promoting themselves?
True, true. Well said. Well said. Most of the celebs, that's celebrity marketing. It works for them.
Not only celebrity. Today, if you find on the Facebook, people will be shooting God knows what and posting it. I was called to one such meet and they posted my video. I said, sorry, no ways. You take it off.
Absolutely. So coming to Gaurav. Gaurav, your closing remarks, please.
I'm saying that, although most of the things are covered over here, and I'm saying that a lot of SOPs are being built on the safety, security in the environment. That's all there. We have upgraded a lot of SOPs in terms of it. But one thing which is always left out is the health and the work-life balance. We saw, in the early, while the COVID happened, and we're just talking about, and then just said that, working from home takes at times a toll of working for 22 hours. It was happening with all of us. And I was talking to so many of my HR friends, and they said, Gaurav, it was terrible. You start sitting in the front of a machine at 6 a.m. and you go up till 10 p.m. It's horrendous, and especially for the women, employees, because it's all the more difficult. So in fact, what we have done over here, and even our organization, we although work 7 days, right? Because we are a consulting firm, we keep on doing various solutions, and it depends on the client's need. However, we have made it very clear now, no works on Sundays. No matter how, what is the deadline of the project, how pestering the client is, and no work on Sundays. That means you have an off, spend time with the family. That's what, I've been going and talking to so many clients. One of my clients called me and said, Gaurav, you can't call me on Wednesday. If you will call me, even if you will send me an email, you might not get a reply. It's a digital off day. Wonderful. So, we are learning, but, that brings to me that, as, DJ was also saying that, there will be a lot of doctors. You have to go to the, ear specialist, eye specialist, and a lot more. So what we need to do is maybe, we need to just keep ourselves also, away from these things for a certain point of time, and to make sure that, we are having a good work-life balance. So I think that has to be the one primary thing to look from 2021 or 22 or going forward. That's the one thing I would like to say here.
Great, that's fantastic, Gaurav, that your closing remarks are all about work-life balance. The ultimate thing, why we work, what we work for, why we survive and thrive. Okay, so coming to DJ for his closing remarks, and in the closing remarks, DJ, please include the answer to this question that we have received from Mr. Rajinder Singh, and he wants to ask you specifically, all right, that safety education to rural India, how to increase safety at home community. And it's for you, DJ, all yours.
Okay. So, especially with the safety at the rural side is again collaborating with the local, clubs and other things to really focus on what is important in terms of today's COVID time, in terms of masks, and also use of tools that is really to prevent them from getting affected from COVID. And also there are a lot of road accidents on the highways. A lot of highways are being built, so there is still no much of awareness in these places. So I think corporates should take some responsibilities of going to these villages, having some mobile safety campaigns and stuff to really educate, because saving a life itself is a very, very important task. So the last final closing comments from my end would be again from the thought process of how do we have this, days of leave. I think Arvind said before, we used to still have Saturday, Sundays off, and the companies will not say the heads cannot work from home. They should be physically standard here and things. So I think we should adapt the Middle East model of having a plan, a 10 days break over 4 months or 3 months. There might be a productivity loss, but with all this current 8 months to 9 months, we are all working from home. Still nothing, no loss. Still we are posting some good numbers on the P&L. So moving forward in 2021, I think there should be 10 days of compulsory break, like how the banks does in order to see the process governance. I think it should also be adapted in most of our process industries and also in the service industry. This will help them to spend time with their family. And then as an organization, you can check on the process, governance and everything is in place. And third thing is you get the employee back with full energy and enthusiasm. You keep him working all the time, the speed and energy comes down. So I think that would be the new thought process looking forward. Coming to CSR, money is not needed in CSR. So maybe you need to encourage people to spend 1 hour in a year or a 1 day in a year, not coming to any of your particular place, rather than going to their own villages or their own hometowns, or the days where they spend the childhood days, go there and spend 1 day in a year. I think that would help the local community as well, and as an individual, it will transform them as a better person. Over to you, Anuj.
Beautiful. That's fantastic, DJ. All right. So we have one question, and this is the last question that we will take from Ms. Meenakshi Prasad. And she wants to, and it's a question open to all the roundtable participants. That is how to ensure the CSR programs are more inclusive and true to their purpose. So it's open to everyone.
Anuj, can I answer?
Sure, sir. Sure. Why not?
See, I was the chairman for CSR committee in Honda, and to ensure that the programs are being implemented in the right spirit and are executed in the right framework, we had created a team of youngsters from those local areas, and we used to, put them as CSR coordinators, paying them some stipend. And those youngsters used to follow up the progress, as well as they used to ensure that the things are actually happening on the ground. Because what was happening is that most of the projects were being executed through various NGOs, and a small team of ours sitting in the head office didn't had enough time as well as resources to go and monitor it on regular basis. So if you go just once in a quarter or once in a month, people are capable of fooling you. So the best thing is to catch hold of the youngsters of that locality, pay some stipend to them, engage them in the activity so that they can, keep an eye on the progress also, and ensure that the things are executed in the right spirit. That was one experiment which I thought I should share.
That's beautiful. So it is done on a consistent basis. There is real work at the ground level, and it's not just.
Yeah, Anuj, one thing is, if you really want to see the CSR in a more successful way, is you need to have a measurement index. Unless there's no follow-up on whatever the plans that they want to execute, what are the money they have spent, these needs to be, looked at, audited, and then see the money or the efforts have gone to the right people and the right thing. Because many times people give CSR funds, but management is also an issue, and in the law, then it brings a reverse negative energy. So whenever a company is investing on CSR, a complete framework, what is the method of measurements, what is the exact outcome, and they have to really adapt the PDCA of plan, do, check, act model of process. Otherwise, it'll be a one-time activity. There will be no continuity of the activity. So it's always important, even in Deming Award, they clearly ask you CSR results. CSR results is one element of almost 10% weightage that the model looks into it. And I still remember back of Dr. Kumar days, where we used to go to Ashai, India, and then Professor Suda will ask to clearly demonstrate by the local champions to come and present what they did, how they did, was it a need or not, and is it going to continue, or is it a separate different method? So, to answer Meenakshi's question, there should be a framework, measurement, and then a continuous, re-evaluation whether it is needed or not, or adapt to new needs.
Just one thing to add, HR has to be more assertive. We all know what we did last summer, and what Harbhajan sir was telling, and Chandan mentioned, and even Yeshwinder mentioned. We know the why, and simple. If you want to do something, there is no melodrama of a video behind it, and you give it and 5 poor people standing, and it's not required. You know what you are doing it, and if HR is assertive, if your conscience is open, we can really give it a right direction. if we are sleeping, whatever we do, whatever PDCA will do, it will not work. So we know what we do, and we should be clear enough how it should be done, and we define it. So we have to be taking more responsibility and more assertion.
Fantastic. That's great, Captain Pranav.
Also, I think,
Yeah.
sorry, also, I think a lot depends on your leadership vision in terms of how committed your leadership is to the purpose. Depends whether the CSR agenda forms part of your AOP planning in terms of the right kind of framework and the involvement that leadership demonstrates in such cases. So it somewhere also has to be ownership at the top, and as rightly said by others, cascaded and percolated to the last mile. It adds a lot of value as per me.
Absolutely. Yes. Anybody else wants to add to that response to CSR, how to make it truly effective? All right. So I think, friends, it's been a great session. I think a lot of insights and a lot of priceless sutras we have got for the CHRO toolkit, which we shall be collating and shall be sharing soon, coming week, and disseminating to the entire WAF community, to everybody, so that this treasure trove of priceless learnings doesn't go waste, and we do not return to the old normal in an old normal way. We should return well instructed and empowered and ready for anything. So thanks a ton, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts for taking our time on a Saturday afternoon, the time which is for you, your family. It's time for you to relax, and you giving it to the community. That also is your CSR in a way. Thank you so much. Really appreciate. And over to Anita ma'am for the felicitation.
Thanks, Anuj, and thank you, ma'am and gentlemen, for all the interesting inputs that we had. And please do accept a virtual memento as a token of our appreciation. So we would like to start with Mr. Yeshwinder Patial, Director, Human Resources, MG Motors. Mr. Harbhajan Singh, former Director, Honda. Yeah. Mr. Chandan Sengupta, former Chief HR Officer, Sandhar Technologies Limited. Captain Pranav Prasoon, Head of HR, Renault India. Mr. Gaurav Mann, CEO, K2B Learning. Ms. Vishali Mullay, Associate Vice President. Mr. Dhananjayan, MD, Focus Engineering India, Focus Technologies, LLC, Dubai. And Mr. Anuj Guglani, CEO, World Auto Forum. Thank you once again, ma'am and gentlemen. And now it's time for the vote of thanks. Our second CHRO's roundtable would be incomplete without recognizing and acknowledging the people who made this event possible. Let's begin by acknowledging the one person who is the driving force behind the success of all our events, Mr. Anuj Guglani. Over to you, Anuj, to present the vote of thanks.
Thank you so much, Anita ma'am. Thanks a ton. So friends, we would like to begin. Of course, this program would not have been complete without our beautiful speakers, the top CHROs of the industry, who have done a stellar job, in empowering their teams across the extended ecosystem. And they are the reason how HR has successfully delivered, by taking the center stage. Thanks a ton to, and all the very best to each one of you. More and more power to the CHROs of the industry, of the country. All the power to you. You make a lot of difference, trust me. So let's come to our partners now. If we can begin with our partners. So friends, Morris Garages is our annual OEM Gold partner at World Auto Forum, and a brand new company. They just launched in 2019, and within a short span of time, they have really won hearts of people all across. And you've just heard Yeshwinder how they have made 33% women employee workforce possible. It's really a dream come true. It's a case study. I think it belongs to the Harvard business review. It's really a case study. So more and more power to Morris Garages. And our next OEM Gold partner is one of the biggest car makers across the world, Volkswagen, known for their cars of great build, safety, impeccable quality, and German engineering. And they have been our partners for a while now, and we really love these guys at VW. They rock. And the next, our gold partner, friends, is Gallups Motors. Gallups, friends, is one of our oldest partners or youngest at World Auto Forum. 8 years, they've been our gold partner each year, year after year. And we have seen them grow, just from General Motors, they have grown to, Hyundai, Bajaj, KTM, BMW. So they are a network of retail, automotive retail, and they're known for their class-leading professional service and customer experience. So that's Gallups, friends. So coming to our next annual partners, we have, of course, Focus. You have interacted with DJ, in the first half as well as the second, and great company, the kind of work that they're doing. And by the way, we don't make any and every company our partner at VAF. Our team does a thorough DD, a due diligence, and only after that, we actually reject more partners than accept, because they have to cross our research process also. Because if we are partnering them, they really have to match our ethos and style and way of working, and they really should be contributing in a very passionate and purposeful profits to the industry. Should really make a difference. So Focus surely is one of them. That's how they are our partners. And the next being K2B Learning. Knowledge to Business, Mr. Gaurav Mann is the CEO. You've seen him in action, first half, second half, doing great work in e-learning, one of the pioneers possibly in the industry for e-learning. And of course, our next partner is Motor Uncle. It's an in-house innovation, and it's won a lot of love from the industry. The only website, only auto portal, friends, which has a service complaint feature. That is, if you're facing any issue with any car dealer of overcharging, rude behavior, this, that, repeat repair, you can raise it with Motor Uncle, and Motor Uncle raises it to the dealer or the OEM headquarters and gets you a solution. And also you get the top report cards of all cars from actual customers and top experts. It's a very unique concept at Motor Uncle. All right, so coming to our next series of partners is Jubilant Motor Works, friends. Class leading automotive retail chain. They are dealers for MG and they are dealers for Audi, and they also have a brand called Car Collective, part of the Jubilant Group, who also make Domino's pizzas in case you're feeling hungry after a long session, but they don't give free pizzas. And by the way, you'll find all these partners at the virtual exhibition, which is all slated to become the longest running virtual exhibition in the world. All thanks to our partner Expo Sim, where you are seeing this program and also where the VE is being held. Coming to our media partners, friends. Patriot is a newspaper more than 6 decades old, started by Bharat Ratna Aruna Asaf Ali ji, known for its fierce, neutral, unbiased editorials, a newspaper with a fine lineage. That's where our full page CHRO toolkit shall get published along with the digital dissemination to all our members in 125 countries. And of course, VAF TV, which is our in-house channel, which you can see on our website, worldautoforum.com. You'll see all these videos also very soon. All right. So Kunal, please make sure you are the head of content and digital. Please ensure it's there on time. And of course, friends, this program would not have been possible it's all thanks to the teams at Expo Sim, who are hosting our program there, who are hosting the virtual exhibition, a seamless experience. Do participate, and after the session is over, please do see each and every booth so that you can win the VAF virtual exhibition contest, where you get your picture gets disseminated to all our social media properties, because you will be the VAF VE virtual exhibition winner. So it's the team that Expo Sim who are helping us and making it the world's longest running virtual exhibition, and we are really proud of their contribution. Last 1 year we have been doing things with them, and each and every event has been a super duper hit. So great work, Expo Sim team, you rock. Thank you. So, and of course, friends, the most important team, that is Team WAF, without whom this thing just is not possible. So Anita ji, Miss Anita Bahadur, who's our communications expert at World Order Forum, who always integrates the program in such a beautiful way. And Jerry sir, Gerald Louis, Jerry, as he's lovingly called, Jerry sir, he is the backbone at World Order Forum, our man Friday. If any problem, shit hits the fan, Jerry sir, kahan ho aap? You can hear people say that or cry out his name. And he is always ready to help. It's 2 p.m., it's 2 a.m., time doesn't matter. Even geography is history. If you need his help, he's always accessible. Thanks a ton, Jerry sir. And of course, Kunal Singh Tomar, our ace designer at WAF. All the design that you see at the virtual exhibition, the creatives of our WAF creative of this program, this particular presentation which is being run, he is the creator as well as the showrunner. So Kunal, your designs are immaculate and you simply rock. Thanks a ton. And of course, it's me. I am just doing the lousiest job. It's the team which does it all. I'm just here to ensure that someone is talking all the time, but it's the team which makes it happen. All right. It's the team, and nothing but the team. And together, everybody achieves more. That's Team WAF for you. So that's it from our side, friends. Thanks a ton for taking your time. Really appreciate you taking your time. And please do not miss out on the virtual exhibition and the contest. Sure shot winning if you visit every booth. So thanks a ton. Anything anyone wants to say, please feel free before we wrap up the second CHRO roundtable. Arey Singh sahab, aap to gaadi mein pahunch gaye. Fantastic. Singh sahab, we cannot hear you. You need to unmute. Singh sahab, we can't hear you. No audio.
I think his audio is not connected.
Yeah. Okay, so with that, friends, it's a wrap. Thank you so much. Normally, in our offline program, we used to say, drive home safe. Don't forget to wear seatbelt. So we can only say, maintain your work-life balance. Don't spend too much time in front of the screen. Let's have a digital detox. So thanks a ton and see you soon. Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Bye, and thank you, everyone.
Thank you all.
Thank you, everyone.